Hello everyone, this is Remlays from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of 40k Lore for Newcomers. For this episode, we will be continuing with our brief look at the Warhammer 40,000 timeline. While these videos will typically focus more on humanity's actions throughout the timeline, certain important Xenos events will also be documented throughout. So without further ado, let's continue. The following account is a continuation of events occurring throughout M41. Because of how intricate and detailed the events of this time were, only certain key events will be mentioned, which in turn will be expanded upon in future videos. In addition, there is also a small chance for potential inaccuracies of specific dates due to contradicting sources. For events that occurred prior to this, make sure to check out the previous videos in the 40k timeline. 765 M41. Slado, the War Master of the Sabbat World's Crusade, is slain upon the world of Balhort. 766 M41. Eldari Corsairs under the command of Prince Iriel launch a series of raids within the Ryza and Catachan systems, targeting several Imperial outposts and leaving the systems effectively blind for several decades to come. 772 M41. Vulcan Heshtan, the Forge Father of the Salamanders chapter, defeats the Eldari Corsair Prince, Ayeth Bloodweaver. In doing so, the Salamanders recover a chapter artifact known as the Gauntlet of the Forge, a device that was created by their Primarch Vulcan himself, and that Heshtan has wielded personally ever since. 777 M41. The Black Legion leads an assault upon the Cadian Gate, attempting to break through into the wider Imperium. The Traitor Legion forces, however, are eventually driven back into the Eye of Terror thanks to the combined efforts of the Cadian Shock Troopers Imperial Guard Regiment and the Imperial Fists Space Marine chapter. 797 M41. The Ultramarine 2nd Company, led by Chapter Master Marnius Calgar, defend the world of Zalathras from an Orc invasion. Calgar is said to have single-handedly held the gates of the world's capital by himself for an entire day and night. The Ultramarines eventually launch a counterattack and defeat the Orcs. 799 M41. The Ultramarines begin to reinforce the eastern borders of the realm of Ultramar against the encroaching Tau Empire. 801 M41. Hive Fleet Naga enters the eastern fringes of the galaxy. The psychic beacon of the Astronomicon briefly flickers and sputters. This results in countless thousands of ships becoming forever lost within the depths of the warp. 804 M41. Cardinal Astra Borgia dies of old age upon the world of Vraks Prime, and his apprentice Zaphen is chosen to act as his successor. Over the next few years, Zaphen begins whipping the population of Vraks Prime up into a frenzy of religious zealotry. 810 M41. Civil unrest begins to unfold with greater and greater intensity upon the world of Vraks Prime, culminating with the Order Hereticus' failed assassination of Cardinal Astral Zaphen. In desperation, the Departamento Munitorum requests urgent and immediate relief. 812 M41. Hive Fleet Naga is destroyed by a combined assault by the Eldari craft worlds of Iandan, Malan'tai, and Idare. A mycetic spore launched by one of Naga's hive ships would make its way to Malan'tai, disgorging numerous tyrannid organisms. While the Craftworld's defenders focused on eliminating the Synapse creatures, such as the Hive Tyrants and Warrior Bioforms, an unusual zoanthrope specimen would begin to feed upon the souls located within the Craftworld's Infinity Circuit. By the time the Eldari realized what was happening, the zoanthrope had grown so powerful that it would go on to devastate the entire Craftworld single-handedly, earning it the name of the Doom of Malan'tai. Imperial forces begin amassing within the Vraks system. 813 M41. The Siege of Vraks begins. The Death Corps of Krieg Imperial Guard Regiment begins to bombard the defense lines of the fortresses of Vraks with heavy artillery. The first infantry battle begins soon after, lasting for 3 consecutive days, with neither side able to gain an advantage over the other. The Necrons of the Sortek dynasty completely eradicate the Tau colony upon the world of Canavar, claiming the world for themselves. 814 M41. Death Corps forces succeed at securing a breakthrough on Vraks during the Battle of Fort A453, driving the defending forces back. 815 M41. The Tau Sept world of Dalith comes under assault from the forces of the Orc war boss, Grog Ironteeth. The Tau forces receive unexpected aid from the forces of the Farsight Enclaves. 820 M41. The Siege of Vraks continues. Reports surface that traitor Legion Astartes from the Alpha Legion, under the command of the Chaos Lord Arkos the Faithless, have appeared to throw their support behind the renegades. 821 M41. The Dark Angels chapter arrives within the Vraks system to provide reinforcement to Imperial forces. Chapter Master Azrael personally leads an assault that destroys the starport upon the world of Vraks Prime. Other members of the Unforgiven begin to make their entry within the Vraks system around this time. 822 M41. Abaddon the Despoiler leads an assault upon the maiden world of Eldanara to obtain an artifact known as the Skull of Kernagar. The Eldari of Craftworld Alatok are able to drive Abaddon's forces from the world, but the Despoiler succeeds in obtaining the relic. 823 M41. An enormous Chaos fleet succeeds in breaching the Imperial blockade within the Vraks system, and delivers a substantial amount of reinforcements to the traitors upon Vraks Prime, including Heretic Astartes and traitor Titan legions. 827 M41. The Grey Knights chapter arrives within the Vraks system to provide Imperial forces a way to combat the increasing amount of demonic activity upon Vraks Prime. The Inquisitorial Lord, Hector Rex of the Ordo Malleus, assumes overall command. The battle for Hangman's Hill takes place soon after. 830 M41. At the request of Inquisitor Rex, 400 Astartes from the Red Scorpions chapter land upon Vraks Prime to assist Imperial forces. The battle for the Cardinal Gate takes place, where Inquisitor Rex succeeds in banishing the bloodthirster Angrath. Astartes forces launch an assault upon the Citadel of Vraks, and the fleet of the Angels of Absolution chapter destroys the flagship of Arkos the Faithless, preventing the Chaos Lord from escaping. Arkos makes a last stand and kills Chapter Master Yafnir of the Angels of Absolution, but is eventually defeated and taken prisoner by the Dark Angels' interrogator chaplain, Belphegor. The Grey Knights discover a warp portal within the crypts of the Citadel. The warp rift is successfully destroyed, and the Grey Knights succeed in banishing the Demon Prince, Uraka Azbaramael. The Siege of Vraks officially comes to an end a few weeks later. The aftermath of the war reveals that the world has been completely devastated and its population wiped out. The world is then subsequently quarantined by the Inquisition. And that concludes this portion of the Warhammer 40,000th timeline. Join us next time as we continue to chronicle the events of M41. If you liked this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content. To those who are new to 40k, we hope you learned something. So leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.